Welcome to Sharing the Mddl, where recovering perfectionists, overachievers, and anyone in the middle of a struggle come together to learn to embrace the messy middles of life. I'm Lacey, your friend in the middle and guide, whose claim to fame this week is being stupid excited about getting almost 15,000 views on a TikTok video. It was a big deal for me. It's fine. I'm going to talk about it more later. In today's mini episode, we're going to do a reading from the middle. You're going to hear me read my Women Who Made Me essay, which is the kind of kickoff for Women's History Month, and my Women Who Made Me series. You're going to hear from all of the amazing women who made me this month on the episodes, on the podcast. Sure. We're going to do some advice from the middle when it comes to feeling stuck in your career. And then last but not least, end with some Lacey Loves. So let's jump right in. This week's essay from the middle is called Women Who Made Me. March is Women's History Month, and it also happens to be my birthday month. My birthday is the day after International Women's Day. I like to joke that we all celebrate women, and then all of that goodwill and energy created me. I started my podcast in December, and there were several women who I knew I wanted to be guests, but I hadn't made it happen yet. So I started to think, why not make them a special series, and I can highlight them. With March being Women's History Month and my birthday, the phrase, women who made me, stuck in my head. The idea of this brought me so much joy. I also picture the gif of women lifting each other up. And then I wanted this to be something that other people could also get excited about. Women in the middle. The tie to the middle is very clear to me, but I imagine it may not be as clear to other people. When it comes to Women's History Month, we think of all of these or hear about all of these amazing and trailblazing women, but we also often only hear about the same women. There's a well-known phrase, behind every great man, there's a great woman. This is just showing how support can be invisible work. We have supported the trailblazing individuals in our society across time. Even more invisible has been the support of women of color, trans women, disabled women, and so many more women in the margins. The women in my world, and myself, are probably not going to be in history books. But man, they have made a world of difference to me. I imagine that is the case for most people. The women that supported them are the women in the middle. The women who are not going to be in headlines, but are lifting everyone up. They deserve to be celebrated. Some of my women. You're going to hear directly from some of the women who made me who I am as a person and who have made the middle happen on my podcast in March. I want to tell you about more women. The reality is there are so many women who have made me that it is impossible for me to name them all. So here are little love letters to some of the different types of women in my world. Family. You're going to hear from my mom and sisters. But man, there are so many other amazing women in my family. From amazing and strong grandmothers, sister-in-laws who are more like sisters, aunts who are not only fun but always show up for me, cousins who feel like best friends, and nieces who amaze me every single day. When you have a big family like I do, it's truly hard to give justice to every individual. They are truly phenomenal and full of so much unconditional love. It's unfathomable. Friends. I've always been a girl's girl, not necessarily girly, but someone who's just loved the wonderfulness of female friendship. I'm not necessarily the best friend, but I would like to think I'm an easy friend. I think that because I can see across my friendships, there are so many different, interesting, kind women who I have the pleasure of calling friend. I love to see them flourish, and man, do they. Teachers. When I thought of the women who made me, a laundry list of language arts or English teachers came to my mind right away. Several weren't even my actual teacher. I just seemed to connect with them naturally. From my third grade teacher who wrote me a note that I will never forget, to my college professors who I like to now think of as my friends, these women have made me so much of who I am. I also think it's pretty obvious why I was voted teacher's pet as my high school superlative. Career. Most of the places I've worked have been filled with women. From my work moms as an intern to the amazing women I am meeting now in my entrepreneur journey, women have supported me in my career pursuits. They have given me a sense of belonging that I have valued beyond my paycheck. Many have transitioned into the friend category beyond the office, which brings me so much joy. There are so many other women in places that have supported me. Special shout out to the amazing women who have helped take care of my children. I am in awe of how much my life is made better by the women in the middle. My hope. You take a few minutes and celebrate the women in the middle who made you. They all deserve a flipping parade. Chances are, if you're a woman reading this, you're also a woman who has helped make someone. Thank you. Thank you for the support that you constantly provide. You make the world a better place. Today's episode of Sharing the Mddl is brought to you by Next Door Goddess Handcrafted Jewelry. If you've been a listener of Sharing the Mddl, you know that I love this vibrant jewelry that's inspired by the Mediterranean coast. It helps you embrace and celebrate your beauty. Each element is sourced from a small business, handcrafted in small batches, and only made while the creator is in their best mood. Vicky is one of my favorite people in the world, and she's their creative director, so I know that you will be receiving pieces that are not only beautiful, but will make you feel amazing too. I literally just put on my Tina in the Sun Golden Sunstone hoop earrings. I needed a little pick-me-up, and I wanted to add a little sunshine in my life, and I feel great. Head to nextdoorgoddess.com and get 10% off your first purchase by signing up for the newsletter with free shipping on all domestic orders. Release your inner goddess today. All right, so the advice from the middle today, our letter is, I am feeling stuck in my career and unsure of what steps to take next. I'm not fulfilled in my current job, but I'm also hesitant to make a change because I'm not sure I want to do what I want to do instead. How can I explore my options and figure out what career path would truly make me happy? All right, friend. I'm going to ask one big question up front. Does your career have to make you happy? I don't mean like you should be unhappy. What I mean is I think we've often been sold the idea that our job has to be our passion. It has to be the reason why we wake up every day. And I saw a TikTok the other day, and I wish I could find it to give them credit. And it just said, you don't necessarily have to love your job in that way. You just need it to enable you to live. And I think this is a good question to ask in the beginning of, are you getting that from it? Are you getting that aspect? Now, if you need more fulfillment from your job, hello, my name's Lacey, I need that too. Cool, we're going to keep talking. But if you have fulfillment in other places, that does not mean that you require that from your job. There is no shame in that. There's no shame in that at all. Run with it. Figure out how to make your days and your time and your job enjoyable, but it doesn't have to be the driving force in your life. It doesn't even have to be in the top 10 parts of the driving forces in your life. Now, I've never really been afraid to take risks when it comes to my career and putting myself out there. For some reason, that has not been a hang up of mine, but I have certainly seen it in other people. And when it comes to that, I just constantly have to remember that I'm like, well, why not? Why not take that risk? Why not make that change? I appreciate that you said you don't know what to do instead. What is not fulfilling you now? Is it the actual work? Is it the environment? What does that look like? If it's the environment, try somewhere else. I think we have broken free from the idea that you have to be in a job for a certain amount of time. I know for me, I always felt like I was a job hopper or not loyal if I left a job before like 3 years. But at the same time, who am I being loyal to? You have to be loyal to yourself. So if it's finding another place to do what you're doing now, cool, just do it. If it's finding something else that you want to do instead, that's a whole can of worms. And there is a whole career field of helping people figure out what they want to do. I know that there are all kinds of coaches and whatnot that you can help you with that. I would just encourage you to, one, think about that first question. Does your job have to give you that fulfillment? Because if it doesn't, then just look for something that can meet your need when it comes to outcome. If it is that you are really looking for that fulfillment, look within. What makes you happy? What brings you joy? What are the constraints when it comes to you switching? Do you need a paycheck every single week, or do you have savings that maybe you could take some time off to get a certificate or something to be able to align for a new career? I appreciate that you want to explore your options, and the first place to do that is to look within and not worry about what other people are telling you. I mean, I am terrified right now. I have made a huge career shift in the past 6 months. Not by choice, but it has ended up being very joyful when it comes to the fulfillment that I get. Someday I'm going to make money. I have made $1. Don't get me wrong. But it's coming and it's going to happen, and I believe it. So I need you to do that too. I need you to believe it too. Hopefully that helps. That was a little deeper than I anticipated it getting into, but good luck, my friend. Keep asking those questions. Just ask them more within, and then tackle the outside stuff. So my Lacey Loves this week are hoop earrings. And if you follow me on any social media platform, you know that I have had an interesting week when it comes to just the joy that is female support and empowerment. I posted a very quick one-off video asking, can I pull off hoop earrings? And the responses were just lovely. So I made another video because they were like, go bigger. And I put the bigger earrings on, and I'm talking about them. And that ended up being the biggest video that I've ever made, with the most engagement, with the most views, all of these things. And the amount of comments on that post, we're talking hundreds of comments of women hyping me up. It is unfathomable. I know I said this earlier, I joked that it was drunk women in a bathroom energy. If you don't know what that is, often at a bar or a club at a certain time of night, the women there have had enough to drink that when you go into the bathroom, it is some of the most supportive women. They tell you if something's wrong. It's very solution oriented. They hype you up like you've never been hyped before. And that is what those comments were. So I am loving hoop earrings today. And I am unabashedly sharing that with you. I did this week become an Amazon influencer, NBD. And so I do now have an Amazon storefront. I do have the hoop earrings in there, but I also have other things that I really like. As you've heard me say before, I'm all about making my life as easy as possible. So I've put some of those different things in there. So if you want to go shop my Amazon storefront, the link will be in the show notes, and it's also on the Mddl website. So hoop earrings, friends. And seriously, I am working on figuring out how to take that joyful drunk girl in a bathroom energy into everything that I do, because that's the energy I want to see more of in the world. This very outwardly loving and joyful energy that is also very solution oriented. It's so funny in the comments. You can see this in action where it's those look great on you. I really think you should try square hoops. And it's just amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today in the Mddl. I would love to hear anything about your drunk girl in a bathroom stories or energy. It is truly a magic that I'm trying to figure out how to put in the world. And as usual, I've loved sharing the Mddl with you. As usual, thank you for sharing the Mddl with me today. Remember to check out my writings at themddl.com. That's themddl.com. While you're there, you can sign up for the weekly newsletter to get a little bit more Mddl in your inbox each week. I am a one-woman show, so any bit of support means the world to me. I want the Mddl to be as accessible as possible, so I have several ways for you to support. You can shop the Mddl with some merch or my books, the Lacey Loves affiliate links and recommended products, Patreon for additional community and content, and I also just have a tip jar if you'd like to leave a tip. If you like today's show, also make sure to subscribe at your favorite podcatcher, share with a friend, and maybe even leave a 5-star review. Thanks so much to Lemon Music Studio for our theme music. It is literally called Sunshine, and that is certainly how it feels to me. Can't wait to see you in the middle again. Thanks for sharing the middle with me. As always, I hope you've been able to see a little bit of yourself in the story we shared today. Don't forget to follow, share, rate, review, and follow me on social media at Lacey Shares. You can always check out the Joyful Support Movement at joyfulsupportmovement.com and see all of the amazing goodness we have there, like No Shame in the Home Game, Pots of Joy, courses, resources, and of course, the Joyful Support Village. All right, now go out there and spread some joy.